Here are the sentences you provided again. 1. Her reflexes to the flying ball were quick. 2. The prince fought the monster with wisdom and gallantry. 3. Linguistics is the study of language. 4. The phone is vibrating in my pocket. 5. She created advertising to promote the product. 6. The famous singer exclusively signed a contract with Disney. 7. There are many parasitic fleas in the dog's fur. 8. Most of the workers in our factory are immigrants. 9. The criminal buried the corpse after digging with a shovel. 10. He always suffered from chronic indigestion. 11. I removed the fluff from the sweater with scissors. 12. It is still unclear who the real criminal is. 13. In fact, jealousy can be said to be strong envy akin to it. 14. Parallel tracks will never meet. 15. She analyzed the data after aggregating a lot of it. 16. Cows and elephants belong to the herbivore group. 17. Our middle school adjoins the high school. 18. The farmer grew vegetables on the fertile land. 19. I subscribed to 3 magazines. 20. He was indignant at the betrayal of his close friend. Let me know if you'd like any feedback or further discussion on these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Her red dress was striking. 2. Intense exercise increases muscle tissue significantly. 3. She bought cosmetics for her makeup. 4. The criminal made a plea of not guilty to the judge. 5. The United States ended slavery through the Civil War. 6. The traffic accident impeded the progress of the cars. 7. Your mindset determines your future. 8. Plants grow with sunlight and carbon dioxide. 9. The knight and his horse drowned while crossing the swamp. 10. She resigned from her position as chairperson and retired. 11. He often acted strangely due to his insanity. 12. The detective inferred my profession from my outfit. 13. I was determined to attend the party. 14. He did many good deeds throughout his lifetime. 15. This fairy tale was descended from Aesop's fables. 16. Genes are segments that contain human information. 17. He often overate and became overweight. 18. Her words are full of sincerity. 19. The chairperson urgently convened the committee for the meeting. 20. The thick fog is expected to dissipate in the afternoon. Let me know if you want to discuss any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. He wrote a love letter on scented paper. 2. Stocks are always unstable due to uncertainty. 3. For me, rest is the best way to recharge. 4. I checked the availability of the room before departure. 5. The witch bewitched the prince and made him a slave. 6. The Pope gave him the honor of saint. 7. The leopard is one of the species that are endangered. 8. The escapee made a hole in the prison wall using a chisel. 9. Rubber is made through the synthesis of petroleum. 10. Oil prices have been falling continually this year. 11. The fetus in the womb will be born after 10 months. 12. The army landed on the misty coastline in the morning. 13. The captain and the crew raised the anchor together. 14. She briefly leaned her bicycle against the wall. 15. He was dexterous in fixing the machine. 16. The critic wrote the review out of spite. 17. His acquittal is a ruling without precedent. 18. The clerk beckoned the customer to wait. 19. His upbringing of his children was strict. 20. The contents of this book are comprehensible to anyone. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Initially, she started a business with a small shop. 2. Don't intentionally provoke the sleeping lion. 3. An alien species invaded Earth on a large scale. 4. She gave a considered opinion at the meeting. 5. He usually wears baggy pants at home. 6. We learned the definition of a square in math class. 7. The spoiler revealed the details of the movie. 8. Attempts to human clones were strictly prohibited. 9. There is a unique characteristic scent of her perfume. 10. The vocational school offers vocational training. 11. He sprinted to catch up with the first place. 12. He experienced racial discrimination. 13. The rose seeds sprouted and then bloomed. 14. The mobile helps with the child's cognitive development. 15. I authorized him to act on my behalf. 16. His misfortune evoked my sympathy. 17. She cleaned the nasty basement thoroughly. 18. At the party, his dancing was clumsy and awkward. 19. His amazing performance fascinated the audience. 20. We calculated the expenses for the trip. Let me know if you want to discuss or clarify anything. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. He has a personality that socializes well with friends. 2. There isn't a single spontaneous volunteer. 3. A seasoned performer moves the audience. 4. Our goal was practically achieved. 5. This town experienced a disastrous flood. 6. The continuous rain saturated the dry land. 7. His baldness is primarily caused by heredity. 8. The oppression eventually led to a rebellion. 9. Intense exercise causes sweat glands to secrete moisture. 10. Every Sunday, the minister preached at church. 11. The spy successfully infiltrated the government agency. 12. There are many pegs by the entrance to hang clothes. 13. The diligent janitor takes care of the building. 14. I bought a sofa that is convertible into a bed. 15. She wrote a critical review on the policy. 16. He preserved the poor environment until the end. 17. The treason against the king was punished by death. 18. The doctor administered the medication to the patient. 19. The new toothbrush is too stiff and it hurts my teeth. 20. The Avengers achieved a tremendous success. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them or need further help. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I embedded my YouTube on the homepage. 2. I repeated my motto to internalize it. 3. The girl has a vivacious personality. 4. The world realized the seriousness of global warming. 5. Looking at the album brings back reminiscence from my childhood. 6. Eating too many sweets can lead to indulgence and diabetes. 7. Genealogy is the history of my ancestors and family. 8. The chairman is responsible for this institute. 9. After the bankruptcy, the company's fate remained uncertain. 10. The government implemented the new law immediately. 11. She had an exceptional talent for singing. 12. The president set a strategy to eradicate poverty. 13. Suddenly, a battleship appeared on the horizon. 14. The candidates are compliant with the rules. 15. The terrain changed from farmland to wasteland. 16. I removed the gut of the fish to make the stew. 17. She looked dejected after losing the match. 18. The child accidentally broke the antique vase in the palace. 19. The number of students applying decreased considerably. 20. The application was subject to preclusion due to age. Feel free to ask if you'd like to dive deeper into any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The environment of this planet is comparable to Earth. 2. The geologist conducted a geologic study on the volcano. 3. The bystanders watching clapped vigorously. 4. She looked at me dismayed and started stammering. 5. Normally, sharks do not attack humans. 6. There is a saying that the most effective defense is offense. 7. He unearthed the ruins by digging the land. 8. He learned how to subtract in math class. 9. This medicine is effective for cancer treatment. 10. Poverty is afflicting people in Africa. 11. The politicians compromised and ended the dispute. 12. He visited the Eiffel Tower while sojourning in Europe. 13. Our latest weapon overwhelmed the enemy. 14. The giant swung the ponderous axe wildly. 15. Love is an integral part of a happy marriage. 16. He went up to the podium to receive his award. 17. The carpenter uses a hammer to pound nails. 18. He received a good evaluation from the consumers. 19. She comprehended the meaning of the sentence well. 20. He is a passionate fan with an interest and enthusiasm for baseball. Let me know if you'd like to go over any of these or need more information. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Anthropology is the study of humans. 2. The spy plotted a meticulous conspiracy against the manager. 3. The boss flatly rejected the request for a wage increase. 4. Don't cause a fuss in the quiet library. 5. Time was limited for a productive discussion. 6. The general election results were declared invalid. 7. Korea has adopted advanced technology. 8. She inherited a great deal of wealth from her parents. 9. Due to the recession, the unemployment ratio surpassed 10%. 10. The accountant conducted an audit of the company's financial records. 11. He lifted weights diligently for a strong forearm. 12. He died on a battleship as a naval officer. 13. Religion connotes peace and healing to people. 14. The fine was imposed on the errant driver. 15. The buffalo herd roamed the expanse in search of grass. 16. I sometimes dream of deviation in my daily life. 17. He wore unsuitable clothing to the funeral. 18. The witness immediately reported the incident to the police. 19. He has a lot of dissatisfaction with the company. 20. I have a subconscious fear of water. Let me know if you want to discuss or clarify anything. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. She sings hymns in the church choir. 2. The fireworks display is an unmissable spectacle. 3. I couldn't tolerate his blatant disregard. 4. A ruthless dictator oppressed the people. 5. The rioters went on a rampage and committed murder. 6. When you exhale, your stomach naturally contracts. 7. The winner cannot emphasize the loser at all. 8. Bishops blessed the congregation gathered at the cathedral. 9. The novel was published, but it was unnoticed. 10. The jury handed down a verdict of guilty. 11. Oriental civilizations and Western civilizations are really different. 12. The government projected a plentiful food supply. 13. A foreign tourist unfolded a map of Seoul. 14. I stopped abruptly while walking and looked behind. 15. The street cleaner always wears reflective clothing. 16. He gave a speech with fervor in front of the audience. 17. He missed school for consecutive 7 days. 18. At first, his theory was considered heresy. 19. All efforts to persuade him were futile. 20. Mutual trust is important in human relationships. Feel free to ask if you'd like any further help with these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The propriety of the expression regarding the situation is in question. 2. Debates about religion are superfluous. 3. The soldiers hustled people into the small room. 4. His interpretation of the poem is unique. 5. They decided to stay, ultimately. 6. He recurred to his happy childhood days. 7. I moved to the countryside for an idyllic life. 8. The plastic bag shriveled rapidly in the fire. 9. She replenished the car with more fuel. 10. 4 massive pillars support the ceiling. 11. She politely declined his invitation. 12. The strong waves and winds capsized the boat. 13. I grinded the grainy flour finely with the mixer. 14. The suspect was dragged into a secluded room. 15. The opponent knew my plan thoroughly. 16. He has a humble and equable personality. 17. If he is sagacious, I will follow his advice. 18. The investigator only has circumstantial evidence. 19. She classified the books by genre. 20. Most people have a bias against single mothers. Let me know if you'd like to explore any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Efforts were made for the modernization of the traditional market. 2. The mule is a hybrid of a male donkey and a female horse. 3. The untimely frost completely ruined the crops. 4. She excels at both singing and playing the vocal of the song. 5. His sudden visit was really annoying. 6. Her perfume still lingers in the room. 7. The witness explained what he saw firsthand. 8. The archaeologist discovered an artifact from the Joseon dynasty. 9. We laughed to diffuse the tension. 10. He lived a destitute life without any money. 11. The urgency of the relief efforts at the earthquake site is critical. 12. His plan sounds quite plausible to me. 13. The woman walking on the sidewalk moved onto the street. 14. The chef is putting the ingredients into a large pot. 15. The U.S. government imposed an embargo on weapon exports. 16. Synonyms refer to words with similar meanings. 17. NASA made a momentous discovery on Mars. 18. My short-tempered decision ruined our business. 19. Her clothes are worn out and outmoded. 20. He gave an innumerable excuse for his absence. Feel free to ask if you'd like to dive deeper into any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. She accepted his proposal without reluctance. 2. Next year's outlook for the Korean economy is somewhat positive. 3. The bristles of the toothbrush became worn out from prolonged use. 4. The dictator banned the comedian's allegory. 5. Self-hypnosis is an effective training method. 6. His term will expire next year. 7. The scientist compounded the ingredients by their components. 8. Protecting the people is the government's responsibility. 9. He is hard to see due to an injury to his optic nerve. 10. A merchant ship and a warship collided head-on in the sea. 11. I was young and immature back then, so I was easily deceived. 12. He has no capability to handle that task. 13. The conference also acknowledges the rationality of his argument. 14. I tried not to deviate from the topic of conversation. 15. Seoul City announced the provision of new apartments. 16. We need to decide what is important and what is trivial. 17. The antonym of enter is exit. 18. He associates spring with the cherry blossom festival associated with it. 19. The two countries in negotiation reached an accord. 20. These two clothes look very alike in shape. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or explore any of them further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Parking next to the fire hydrant is illegal now. 2. Slavery was a bygone institution of the past. 3. The terrorists secretly smuggled a lethal weapon. 4. The stress of that English word is on the first syllable. 5. I felt a strong attraction to her at first sight. 6. I unknowingly got a bruise on my arm after the fight. 7. She wore a stunning dress at the wedding. 8. The soldiers strided together into the wide hall. 9. She inspected the fineness of the gold ring she received as a gift. 10. Many bizarre phenomena occur in this lake. 11. He indulges in his hobbies and never does any work. 12. You don't need to be obsessed with your diet. Fortunately, the CEO hired an efficient secretary. 14. This artificial rose looks just like a real one. 15. Luckily, the pain was only endurable. 16. Riskily, he picked up a litter from the road. 17. She has an illogical fear of spiders. 18. The poll results are the barometer of current public opinion. 19. Annals are records organized by year. 20. The police ascertained the suspect's home address. Let me know if you'd like to dive deeper into any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. A person who violates the law will be penalized. 2. Motivation is important when learning English. 3. Water is one of the necessities when going hiking. 4. Her heart quickened as he approached. 5. I ate leftover chicken as a snack. 6. This headache medicine was found to be ineffective. 7. He felt anguish over the death of his pet dog. 8. The truck is transporting the car to the harbor. 9. Spitting on the street is a shameful act. 10. He is strong, but furthermore, he is smart. 11. Humans are helpless in the face of natural disasters. 12. The scheme to attack the enemy failed in the end. 13. Invisible light includes ultraviolet and infrared. 14. A seal is a mark to certify documents. 15. The sailboat was adrift at sea for 3 days. 16. The fee charged by the restaurant was unreasonable. 17. She donates to the nursing home every month as an endowment. 18. The coolant lowers the engine temperature of the car. 19. The old gentleman is urbane and wise. 20. His success is the result of passion and dedication. Feel free to reach out if you need more help or have any questions. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. His behavior does not pertain to his role as the principal. 2. Carnivorous animals like lions eat meat. 3. Excessive debt is the underlying cause of the incident. 4. We decided to alter our travel plans due to the flood. 5. The enemy began to attack the fortress. 6. He explained the reasons for rationalizing his tardiness. 7. He burst into laughter at my funny story. 8. The noisy student exasperated the teacher. 9. The earth utilizes the sun as an energy source. 10. The spokesperson tried to deflect the reporter's question. 11. The heart surgery prolonged his life. 12. This valley was formed by glacial erosion. 13. The new singer gained nationwide attention. 14. He is ignorant and cannot read letters. 15. The doctor found a way to counteract the infection. 16. She solved the math problems with concentration. 17. The police ordered the confiscation of firearms. 18. I trust her even in the current circumstance. 19. Glass bottles always carry the risk of breakage. 20. The investigator found a bloody knife at the crime scene. Let me know if you'd like to dive deeper into any of these or need further explanation. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The armies of the two countries fought to capture the fort. 2. The victim shudders at the mere mention of the perpetrator's name. 3. His tenure as president will end next year. 4. He was loath to admit his mistake. 5. I outstretched my arm and walked toward her. 6. Among the planets in the solar system, only Jupiter is larger than Saturn. 7. Internet usage is becoming increasingly convenient. 8. A runny nose and sneezing are the early symptoms of a cold. 9. We visit our forefathers' grave on holidays. 10. Korea has achieved remarkable development. 11. She is a faultless, perfect model student. 12. The generator broke down, causing a power outage. 13. He lived on a collective farm in the countryside. 14. The government formulated policies for the displaced people. 15. The farmer grows vegetables and fattens livestock. 16. The two countries reached an amicable agreement. 17. The stepping stones were washed away by the downpour. 18. The audience became frantic at the famous singer's song. 19. Yesterday, the kidnapper kidnapped a young child. 20. I marked the longitude and latitude on the map. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Ethnic conflicts in the Middle East developed into war. 2. The soldiers filled the shells with gunpowder. 3. The police warned the demonstrators. 4. The heart hand shape symbolizes love. 5. She is immersed in contemplation while listening to music. 6. He is physically exhausted from hard labor. 7. Her solace in life is her daughter and son. 8. The undertaker buried his remains in the mountain. 9. The eagle skimmed over the surface of the water. 10. Recently, the variability of exchange rates has been too large. 11. Typically, parents worry about their children. 12. The trees grew high into the sky in the woodland. 13. Hansel and Gretel discovered the glimmering light. 14. The branches swayed in the strong wind. 15. This gift is a token of my gratitude. 16. They considered the pastor as a surrogate father. 17. The human body dies, but the soul is immortal. 18. I can't find it because I mislaid the key. 19. We are stuffy with each other because we don't communicate well. 20. The cosmetics company dispensed samples on the street. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them or if you need help with anything else. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The baby suddenly banged on the piano keys. 2. Automation is necessary for the productivity of the factory. 3. He added a picture to complement the explanation. 4. Her face has an elliptical shape like an egg. 5. The heavy rain retarded the arrival of the airplane. 6. The inventor achieved significant scientific accomplishments. 7. He lost a lot of money through stock investment. 8. We agreed to reconvene in the meeting room. 9. The employees gathered in the office for the conference. 10. The news of failing the exam fazed him. 11. Despite her age, our grandmother is vigorous. 12. The omnivore eats all types of food without discrimination. 13. Hercules had inborn strength and abilities. 14. The spaceship traveled through the cosmos at the speed of light. 15. I analyzed the samples in the school laboratory. 16. She dictated what the teacher said. 17. The unemployed person registered at the education establishment. 18. The torch illuminated the painting on the wall. 19. He knows the shortcut to get to the destination well. 20. Look at this cute and adorable little puppy. Let me know if you need anything else. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The retention period for the company's interview documents is 5 years. 2. Our product is superior to the competitors. 3. The soldier was promoted from lieutenant to captain. 4. The old bread is inedible due to the mold on it. 5. This summer's heat was unprecedented weather. 6. The politicians became the target of public ridicule. 7. The referee awarded a goal kick to the opposing team. 8. After buying expensive clothes, I felt extravagant. 9. His incorrect posture deformed his spine. 10. The soccer team suffered a humiliating loss yesterday. 11. I scratched my head in perplexity at the awkward situation. 12. She answered his question with detachment. 13. The respondent who answered my question was the only one. 14. I can still vaguely remember things from my childhood. 15. My computer is vulnerable to virus attacks. 16. The clergy went on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. 17. A multitude of pigeons is gathered in the square. 18. The preferred music differs across generations. 19. He sews his torn clothes himself and wears them. 20. The bureau's drawer opens and closes easily. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or clarify anything. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Historical dramas often include fictional scenes for entertainment. 2. He disdained my advice and failed. 3. Set realistic goals, not idealistic ones. 4. As we age, it seems the body regresses. 5. Mom gently pinched the baby's cheek with her hand. 6. You are at an age where you can distinguish right from wrong. 7. Alexander was the ruler of an immense empire. 8. My assistant helped me day and night. 9. My premonition about the soccer match was accurate. 10. The chef improvised a delicious japchae. 11. The ornithologist studied the geographical distribution of birds. 12. The student was deeply indebted to the teacher. 13. The potter used a fan to solidify the pottery. 14. The patient had the cancerous tumor removed through surgery. 15. Soju and beer can easily intoxicate a person. 16. Bats fly starting from twilight. 17. After falling, he felt intense pain in his knee. 18. The Mediterranean climate is hot and dry. 19. She had a radiant smile on her face. 20. He amassed a great fortune through international trade. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Today's newspaper headline was UFO sighting. 2. There is no compelling evidence that he is the criminal. 3. Today, the vice president presided over the meeting as the chairman's deputy. 4. I published a new product advertisement in the newspaper. 5. He invested a large sum of money to obtain citizenship. 6. There were growth issues due to a nutrient deficiency. 7. The former president met with the current president as a predecessor. 8. He decided to abstain from the class president election. 9. Incidentally, have you heard the news about Robert Downey Jr.? 10. The president heard the people's voiceless cry. 11. They chuckled when they saw the person with unusual clothing. 12. The groom embraced the bride in front of the audience. 13. His red clothes outstand in the crowd. 14. I successfully completed a laborious doctoral program. 15. She prayed for her husband's prospective success. 16. Just because someone is learned doesn't mean they are necessarily smart. 17. The government held talks for the extension of the trade agreement. 18. Happiness is a derivative of happy. 19. He focused on his studies without his siblings' interruption. 20. Straighten your backbone for good posture. Let me know if you'd like any further assistance with these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The principal revoked the admission of the student who entered through fraudulent means. 2. Some people commit suicide due to severe depression. 3. Astronomers study the process of star formation. 4. The factory's black smoke pollutes the atmosphere. 5. She shed tears after seeing the mournful scene. 6. He looked at the lazy person with contempt. 7. The government proposed a poll on the new policy. 8. He was so embarrassed that he started to stutter. 9. She collapsed from exhaustion due to the heavy workload. 10. What he said was a lie and nonsense. 11. Lincoln tried to abolish racial segregation. 12. Many people in Africa die from famine. 13. The Allies' captive escaped from the enemy's bondage. 14. Needless to say, I really love you. 15. The government's housing policy depressed apartment prices. 16. The chef cooked beef on the grill. 17. Congress enacted the new traffic law. 18. The U.S. and Russia attacked each other's heartland. 19. In the rainforest, plants grow quickly. 20. I enjoyed reading Edison's biography. Let me know if you'd like to explore any of these or need help with anything else. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Hypocritical religious people lead to the creation of prejudice. 2. We talked pleasantly while having dinner. 3. The U.S. carried out a precision bombing on Iraq. 4. They were caught trying to smuggle drugs by airplane. 5. He overruled the agreement unilaterally. 6. The brain-dead patient relied on a life support apparatus. 7. She was a proponent of abolishing bad laws. 8. The machine he built had a fatal flaw. 9. Artificial intelligence robots have many distinct advantages. 10. She received the measles vaccination at the hospital. 11. His stock investment ended in a comparative failure. 12. Environmental changes affect animals as well. 13. The priest sought the oracle at the Apollo temple. 14. The factory works overtime at least once a week. 15. He beguiled people to do things his way. 16. The witness gave an affirmation about his crime. 17. He ran for president as a candidate, but failed. 18. The hunter's nerves were tense at the sight of the bear. 19. The teacher would never misguide the students. 20. This area is under Texas jurisdiction. Feel free to ask if you want to discuss any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The candidate has many adherents. 2. She becomes very prudent every time she votes. 3. He asked the philosophical question of what life is. 4. Religious people generally believe in the afterlife. 5. He fell into a mental meltdown due to his friend's betrayal. 6. Animals became endangered due to the volcanic eruption. 7. He became a cripple due to the traffic accident. 8. He had the adequate qualifications as a leader. 9. In the aristocracy, there are dukes and earls. 10. He easily outwits his competitors in terms of physical strength. 11. Parting is a heartbreaking event for everyone. 12. After installing CCTV, the frequency of crime decreased. 13. He packed the remains of the pizza to take with him. 14. The probability of an earthquake occurring is very high. 15. This year, there were many calamities from drought and floods. 16. The circumference of our village's lake is 2 kilometers. 17. She pronounced the English words precisely. 18. He made pottery from clay lumps. 19. I apologized to her for the incurrence of property damage. 20. We don't know the extent of the earthquake damage yet. Let me know if you'd like to explore any of them further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The fracture of his right leg from the accident is very severe. 2. I urinated in a paper cup at the hospital and brought it. 3. The pastor preaches the doctrine every week at church. 4. I find it difficult to distinguish between wheat and barley. 5. My friend's dream is to marry the heiress of the hotel. 6. The glut of new homes caused the apartment prices to drop. 7. The contract was immediately canceled by a bilateral agreement. 8. Don't distract me while I'm driving. 9. The athlete showed quick resilience after the injury. 10. The hunting dog quickly lunged at the deer. 11. Tensions between the US and North Korea are rising. 12. My theory was proven with empirical evidence. 13. Dogs and cats are domesticated animals. 14. Unnecessary interference is complicating the situation. 15. Hard work and sincerity are the fundamental principles of success. 16. Despite the opposition, he seems undaunted. 17. Unemployment increases as the downturn in the economy continues. 18. The embers in the ashes cause the wildfire to break out again. 19. Although they are different in shape, ice and water are the same substance. 20. Residents are fearful due to the horrific crimes. Let me know if you need any clarification or want to dive deeper into any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The soldiers jumped out using parachutes. 2. The author was taken aback by the reader's cynicism. 3. She peeled the apple and cut it into cubes. 4. The police elicited a confession from the suspect. 5. They had a conventional wedding at Gyeongbokgung. 6. He studied with zeal to achieve his dream. 7. If you don't submit the homework on time, you will fail. 8. I dissected a dragonfly in biology class. 9. The nurse prepared a surgical knife and needle. 10. She is pretty. Nevertheless, I don't like her. 11. This year, the sales of snacks increased threefold. 12. One of us has committed a crime. 13. Thanks to the elimination of fine dust, the air has improved. 14. She works as an apprentice at the beauty salon. 15. The mechanic completely dismantled the car engine. 16. In this river, bass are caught more than mullets. 17. On Children's Day, the children went on an excursion to the Grand Park. 18. I attribute his success to hard work. 19. These pants are too small, making them uncomfortable to wear. 20. Sneezing can propagate an epidemic. Feel free to reach out if you want to discuss any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I park in the underground parking lot rather than on the ground. 2. We will proceed with the business as planned. 3. A skilled MC knows how to entertain the guests. 4. Bronze is an alloy formed by the combination of copper and tin. 5. Countless bacteria are inhibiting our mouths. 6. Reproducing the author's work without permission is illegal. 7. The editor reviewed the author's manuscript. 8. In the summer, food tends to rot quickly. 9. My grandfather, feeling senile, kept repeating the same words. 10. The specialty of this plastic surgery clinic is obesity treatment. 11. The stalk of sweet potatoes is used for consumption. 12. I have a dinner engagement with my friend today. 13. The prognosis for the Korean economy is very good. 14. Busan developed both commerce and industry together. 15. The rumor about him was predicated on no evidence. 16. I prefer a compact camera to a larger one. 17. He succeeded in business through conjunction with his friend. 18. She survived the war ordeal. 19. If you underestimate your opponent, you could lose. 20. These rubber gloves are elastic and stretch well. Let me know if you want to discuss any of them or need more help. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. During the holiday, the road became congested with many cars. 2. The orator stepped onto the stage to give a speech. 3. He tends to heedful advice from others. 4. Gray is the intermediate color between black and white. 5. The wife spent a day anguished by the death of her husband. 6. Hindsight shows that I was wrong. 7. Excessive egotism in social life ruins relationships. 8. A spear and a shield are contradictory examples. 9. The thick foliage blocks the strong sunlight. 10. I lost a lot of money every time I gambled. 11. Poverty and disaster dehumanize people. 12. The students attended the professor's lecture attentively. 13. The number of jobless people decreased due to economic recovery. 14. Health and financial well-being are prerequisites for happiness. 15. He decided to withdraw from the position of chairman. 16. Our mother compassionated the homeless. 17. Korea provided humanitarian aid to North Korea. 18. Regardless of the price, I want to buy what I want. 19. This model is a refinement of the previous one. 20. Merchants created a guild for mutual benefit. Let me know if you'd like further assistance with these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The teacher told us to underline important sentences. 2. The vendor in front of the school sells tteokbokki and fried foods. 3. The implementation of the new policy was announced to everyone. 4. She visited China officially as a diplomat. 5. My supervisor highly assessed my presentation skills. 6. The construction noise hindered their theater performance. 7. This region is good for farming because of the nice weather. 8. This program has a compatibility issue. 9. The hungry beggar gobbled the food without stopping. 10. Traditional Korean houses have a sloping roof. 11. His speech was too long and became tedious. 12. I ate spoiled food and had diarrhea. 13. He sweats a lot after exercising and has much perspiration. 14. The pirates plundered the village to steal the treasure. 15. The copied document is a bit blurry but still legible. 16. Commercial buildings are prohibited in residential areas. 17. The tariff on imported cars is a tax. 18. An aspiring musician practices hard. 19. Don't disrupt your friend who is studying hard. 20. The increase in employment rate is an indicative sign of economic recovery. Let me know if you need any further clarification or help. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I couldn't anticipate my parents' opposition. 2. He founded a factory that makes semiconductors. 3. The police took the fingerprints from the glass. 4. This program encodes login information. 5. Yesterday, the new member had a tumultuous welcome ceremony. 6. Success and failure solely depend on oneself. 7. There is a narrow pavement next to the wide driveway. 8. The circuit breaker cut off the electrical circuit for safety. 9. Nitrogen makes up 80% of the air. 10. He is the most diligent attendant in our store. 11. I can't understand the torment I went through when I was young. 12. The strong wind snapped the branch in two. 13. She prepared spare food for the guests. 14. Global warming is destroying the ecology of the Arctic. 15. His speech drew an exclamation from the audience. 16. The Blue House announced it would reshuffle the cabinet. 17. He made a song in collaboration with Susie. 18. Political stability and progress are the people's hope. 19. It's too late to protest the new plan now. 20. The critics sharply criticized the politician. Let me know if you want to discuss or explore any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. He made a beeline for home as soon as school was over. 2. Water is an essential item to sustain life. 3. At work, coordination and cooperation are required. 4. A meteor fell to Earth, creating a crater. 5. Pottery is handled carefully because of its fragility. 6. He helps others with his innate goodness. 7. Her lust for power is frightening. 8. The suspect was released due to scant evidence. 9. Preservatives are substances that prevent the spoilage of food. 10. An intermittent shower made me grab my umbrella. 11. The company allocated a lot of money to the new business. 12. Many sports facilities were destroyed by the earthquake. 13. I take antidepressants because of my depression. 14. Thor heard a faint sound from the attic. 15. Due to the epidemic, he was confined to a ward. 16. The acidity of a lemon makes my mouth water just thinking about it. 17. The cosmic theory you mentioned is just a presumption. 18. The machine extracts oil from corn. 19. He started to sob at the news of his friend's death. 20. I enjoy both domestic and international travel. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. He says the new law is unfair to the weak. 2. The strange smell continued to itch my nostrils. 3. The supervisor is responsible for everything in the factory. 4. The experiment was canceled due to a serious technical problem. 5. Idealism and pragmatism are types of philosophy. 6. The teacher scolded the disruptive student during class. 7. The activation code for the machine is included in the product. 8. The explorer researched to decode the cryptic letter. 9. I dug a pit with a shovel to plant flowers in the yard. 10. He is fluent not only in English but also in Chinese. 11. There was a movement to preserve Docto. 12. He wants to renovate the old house. 13. A streak of tears flowed down her cheek. 14. The handwriting I wrote is almost illegible due to bad penmanship. 15. She is easily identifiable by her red clothes. 16. His sullen expression shows that he is upset. 17. I bought a rare book at a secondhand bookstore. 18. The human digestive system includes the mouth, stomach, and more. 19. The new project is very challenging for him. 20. Her pet dog is as meek as a lamb. Let me know if you need help with any of these or want to dive deeper into any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The coachman skillfully drove the carriage on the street. 2. I held back my anger to maintain my dignity at the party. 3. Corporal punishment in school is an impersonal educational method. 4. There are separate bathrooms and lavatories on the first and second floors. 5. The butcher sold pork after cutting it with a large knife. 6. Words can be expanded into phrases or clauses. 7. The voting age for elections is 19 or younger, which is the suffrage age. 8. Looking at animals makes the volcanic eruption feel impending. 9. The federal government distributed money to Texas and other states. 10. Our company has an unwritten rule that we leave at 6 p.m. 11. Traveling abroad makes one apt to be influenced by foreign cultures. 12. Believing that computers are always accurate is a fallacy. 13. The result of the general's responsible decision was disastrous. 14. Plants cannot grow in the sterile land of the Middle East. 15. Metal can easily undergo corrosion from water and humidity. 16. Superman eventually revealed his identity to her. 17. The archer shot an arrow at a stationary target. 18. Her boundless benevolence changed the evil man. 19. The ivy vine stretched over the mossy stone wall. 20. The arriving passengers disembarked from the ship in an orderly fashion. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or explore any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. North Korea tried to reactivate its nuclear facilities. 2. I went to the park with my friend to accompany him. 3. Previously, we read the newspaper every morning. 4. He looked at Picasso's painting with admiration. 5. He and I have a significantly large age difference. 6. I felt a sense of familiarity when I first saw him. 7. Our family planned an overseas trip during the holiday. 8. Now even the mafia must engage in legitimate businesses to survive. 9. The road is slippery due to the sleet that suddenly fell. 10. We occasionally reminisce about our childhood. 11. The abandonment of pets has become a social issue. 12. The opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. 13. He received a deserved punishment for his wrongdoings. 14. The U.S. sent special forces to rescue the hostage. 15. He knows an aboriginal language of Africa. 16. A drowsy driver took a rest at the rest stop. 17. I vacillated after listening to others and canceled it. 18. The hunting dog chased after the trace of the deer. 19. TV becomes a distraction when trying to focus on studying. 20. My boss is pessimistic about the new business. Let me know if you'd like any further assistance or want to discuss any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The insolent student slammed the door as he left. 2. After her greeting, a loud applause ensued from the audience. 3. Often said absurd things, causing misunderstandings. 4. After a tough workout, I felt thirsty. 5. There are many overlapping areas between mathematics and physics. 6. Due to inactivity and evolution, the wildfire grew larger. 7. There was significant improvement in skills after participating in the competition. 8. Her words strained as she struggled to escape the harness. 9. His impassive expression to my joke is bewildering. 10. My grandmother had many offspring and passed away. 11. Due to the heavy snow, our village is currently inaccessible. 12. In the past, manure and urine increased the fertility of the land. 13. I think the athlete's retirement was premature. 14. I played outside for a long time, but my clothes are still unstained. 15. The brutal murder by the criminal inflamed the public. 16. The city provides shelter to the indigent. 17. The construction worker transported bricks and cement. 18. Flammable substances like gasoline easily catch fire. 19. I waited impatiently for the movie to start. 20. The speaker shared an interesting anecdote of his own. Let me know if you'd like to explore or discuss any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. She is really inflexible and very stubborn. 2. Despite opposition, the government enforced the regulations. 3. The retina is the membrane located at the back of the eyeball. 4. His glasses are almost oblong, like a window. 5. After the war, a new conqueror ruled the country. 6. The housewife repeats the drudgery of daily household chores. 7. Both the bank and the tenant claimed ownership of the house. 8. The Pokemon world is an illusory realm, not reality. 9. Dinosaurs are giant animals that became extinct a long time ago. 10. The weather is capricious, with rain coming and going. 11. The eighth planet of the solar system, Neptune, is next after Uranus. 12. I used insecticide to exterminate the bugs. 13. Ulcer is a disease where holes form in internal organs. 14. The soldiers attacked the enemy and expelled them completely. 15. His voice became hoarse from frequent speeches. 16. He was sent to China as a missionary for evangelism. 17. We interchanged gifts on Christmas Day. 18. She is preoccupied with quilting and does nothing but quilt. 19. The journalist wrote an exclusive article for the newspaper. 20. The linguist I know speaks 4 languages. Feel free to ask if you'd like to go over any of these in more detail. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I specialize in realty brokerage among other things. 2. A story that coheres is easy to read and understand. 3. He majored in electronics like semiconductors. 4. The horse that fell into the marsh couldn't get out. 5. The choir sang an anthem at the church. 6. The nun was always gracious to the children. 7. The mechanism of the old man's pocket watch is very complex. 8. I don't want to interfere with other people's decisions. 9. I only have partial knowledge about that topic. 10. He is good at lying. Therein lies the cause of the conflict. 11. She neatly displayed a variety of merchandise. 12. Our home is a comfortable haven for the family. 13. The tyrant suppressed freedom of expression for the people. 14. He announced his marriage to Johansson to his relatives. 15. She goes to church on Sundays due to her Catholicism. 16. White clouds patch across the blue sky. 17. The article written in the newspaper was biased. 18. I bought the product after being tricked by the salesperson's persuasion. 19. Your hairstyle is a bit weird, but it looks good. 20. All the royalty gathered at the palace on the king's birthday. Let me know if you want to discuss or clarify any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The police officer wrenched the suspect's arm behind his back. 2. A house is built with materials such as clay bricks and cement. 3. The strong light from my flashlight dazzled his eyes. 4. A migraine is not at all a tolerable pain. 5. Mount Baekdu was covered with lush trees. 6. I went to my high school reunion for the first time after graduation. 7. The boss placed his signature on the final contract. 8. The dew on the leaves vaporized in the sunlight. 9. What he survived in the plane crash was truly miraculous. 10. Number 750 is made up of 3 digits. 11. Traveling abroad has now become commonplace in Korea. 12. I was surprised by his shameless demand for money. 13. He manifested his dissatisfaction with the food. 14. She tightly wrung the washed clothes to squeeze out the water. 15. He endowed the nursing home with rice and money every year. 16. Should we reduce physical infliction for education? 17. His explanation revealed a lack of cognition of reality. 18. I became a billionaire after succeeding in the shopping mall business. 19. The comrade's funeral was held with solemnity. 20. The drama gradually headed toward its climax. Let me know if you need further assistance or if you'd like to go over any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Indiscriminate development led to the depletion of resources. 2. Paying taxes is something all citizens are obliged to do. 3. He was so irresponsible that he was willing to forsake his family. 4. I wanted to take revenge on him because of his grudge. 5. The thief was sentenced to imprisonment in court. 6. The clock is wrong, so a time adjustment is necessary. 7. A rebellion against the government broke out nationwide. 8. She felt like an outcast because she had no friends. 9. The school has explicit rules that must be followed. 10. That dog is so aggressive that it barks when it sees people. 11. The salesperson persuades customers with multiple methods. 12. Both the hero and the heroine are famous actors. 13. I had a heat stroke after exercising in the hot weather. 14. We found a mutually satisfactory compromise. 15. I made a furrow in the field using an ox. 16. He needs an English translator for trade. 17. The sunlight caused the evaporation of the water in the dish. 18. I saw hallucinations after I hit my head. 19. An owl is a type of nocturnal bird that is active at night. 20. Put all the ingredients into the blender and mix them. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or clarify any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. After exercising, my body was completely drenched in sweat. 2. In court, the juror did not accept the defendant's argument. 3. The slaves cringed in front of their merciless master. 4. My friend turned out to be a hypocrite who deceived me. 5. The patent I applied for is pending at the patent office. 6. The death penalty is a contentious topic in Korea. 7. The amendment of legislation requires approval from the National Assembly. 8. She tried to soothe the crying child. 9. This small English dictionary contains a meager vocabulary. 10. Yesterday, a devastating earthquake occurred in Japan. 11. She was deeply grateful for your help. 12. I have animosity toward the person who criticized me. 13. She interpreted the English sentences during the English class. 14. He touched the camel in the zoo's enclosure. 15. He had a diverse experience while traveling abroad. 16. Both the Antarctic and Arctic regions are covered in ice. 17. He is stuck in his own world and never goes outside. 18. He was dismissed from the company due to incapacity. 19. The KTX train ensures its scheduled arrival time. 20. Nuclear bombs release radioactive materials. Let me know if you'd like any further explanation or help. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The firefighters tried to extinguish the fire. 2. In matriarchy, the woman was the leader of the community. 3. He was diagnosed with cancer through a precise diagnosis. 4. We always agonize over the future. 5. Thomas Jefferson wrote the U.S. Declaration of Independence. 6. I called the restaurant to confirm the pizza order. 7. The psychologist analyzed the motive of the criminal. 8. The UN imposed financial and trade sanctions on North Korea. 9. The journalist sensationalized the celebrity's marriage. 10. His suit and shoes look shabby because they were old. 11. The doctor studied the dietary habits of obese people. 12. The woodcutter cut a bough to make a temporary shelter. 13. He asked the doctor about side effects after cosmetic surgery. 14. I was a scaredy cat to the point of being afraid of dogs. 15. Credit cards are much more convenient than cash. 16. He acted with dishonesty, so I don't trust him. 17. The boxer delivered a telling blow to his opponent. 18. The egg and sperm meet, leading to fertilization and pregnancy. 19. I saw the phantom of my deceased father in a dream. 20. The lawyer tried to attest to his innocence. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them or need further clarification. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. His representation of the sunset is excellent. 2. Loyalty to the country and filial piety to parents are important values. 3. Even after taking fever medicine, there was no abatement in my body temperature. 4. The choir's dissonance made their singing terrible to listen to. 5. This year, the deficient rainfall has caused the crops not to grow. 6. To maintain the ecological balance of the wetland, invasive species were removed. 7. People who contracted the epidemic were isolated in hospitals. 8. He was awarded a certificate for his meritorious actions. 9. We are interacting with various people in our daily life. 10. The castle is impregnable thanks to the sturdy walls. 11. He received an acceptance letter from the school. 12. After cutting the fabric, she stitched it together to make clothes. 13. The venomous snake bit his foot, and he nearly died. 14. He was frustrated by his low math scores. If you can't speak English, you will experience a linguistic barrier abroad. 16. I got a severe stomachache after eating rotten food. 17. The new clothes constricted and became smaller after washing. 18. Recently, her popularity has waned compared to before. 19. Slavery is an amoral institution in modern society. 20. The government maintains the equilibrium of supply and demand. Let me know if you'd like to explore or discuss any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The world agreed to ban biochemical weapons. 2. The newlyweds are looking for a way to curtail expenses. 3. She is quite adept at playing the drums. 4. He cleaned the messy room thoroughly with a vacuum cleaner. 5. The construction worker installed a fire detector on the ceiling. 6. An astronaut is a scientist who explores space. 7. I saved the data on a portable USB device. 8. A brisk pace makes the person next to you feel energetic as well. 9. She sneered at my New Year's diet goal. 10. The vice chairman will preside over tonight's meeting. 11. He immediately retorted to my opinion. 12. The large corporation expanded its market dominance. 13. The carpenter cut down the withered tree in the garden. 14. The voters expressed their apathy toward politics. 15. The expert has thorough knowledge of the topic. 16. The coastline is slightly inclined towards the sea. 17. For a decade, no one was able to break the champion's record. 18. We fortified the village in preparation for an attack. 19. She possesses 5 sports cars. 20. The earthquake caused our house to slant to one side. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or analyze any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I met my current spouse through a matchmaker. 2. No one knows what the conclusion of the debate will be. 3. He enclosed the garden with thorn bushes. 4. She contracted the virulent disease of colon cancer. 5. He is an intern recognized by the ceramic artisan. 6. There is a saying that good medicine tastes bitterness. 7. The police car blared its horn at the fleeing vehicle. 8. The future of the diligent young man looked very hopeful. 9. Our company and a competitive company made the same product. 10. The difficult math problem made him feel discouraged. 11. Her bead necklace rattled as it swayed. 12. The general decided on the new deployment of the troops. 13. He was captured as a prisoner and fell into captivity. 14. This bullet can easily penetrate a steel plate. 15. The government releases the unemployment rate statistics every month. 16. I really appreciate your assistance when I was in trouble. 17. The essential preparations for a voyage are a map and a compass. 18. He was so surprised that he stared at her in dumbly for a while. 19. I heartily agree with her opinion. 20. We have the responsibility to uphold tradition. Let me know if you'd like to explore or clarify anything. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The criminal who kidnapped the president demanded a huge ransom. 2. The bride's generosity finally changed the criminal. 3. The patient received intensive care day and night. 4. Honestly, I was embarrassed by his question. 5. After the king died, the country was in a state of anarchy. 6. I am under unrelenting pressure from my boss due to work. 7. Traveling is a good way to break the monotony of daily life. 8. He hurried and tripped over a threshold, falling down. 9. The U.S. built a barrier on the frontier with Canada. 10. When we first met, we broke the inhibition through a game. 11. There are no insurmountable problems for us, he said. 12. My mom inoculated the baby against polio. 13. He is sincere enough for his words and actions to be trustworthy. 14. We must be wary of political extremists. 15. I fought under adverse conditions with one arm unusable. 16. Salt and sugar are indispensable ingredients in cooking. 17. Recently, the weather has been unpredictable, according to the meteorological office. 18. The house's interior needs an overall alteration. 19. There are many funny composite photos on the internet. 20. The bar is in a disorderly state because of the drunken customer's rampage. Feel free to ask if you'd like to dive deeper into any of them. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. This pension has many recreation facilities, such as a ping pong table. 2. To improve your English, you must practice it constantly. 3. The newspaper strives for the fairness of its articles. 4. Samsung and Apple promise to cooperate. 5. The mouse easily escaped the complex maze. 6. The company transferred money to the insurance claimant. 7. The role of the prosecution is the implementation of social righteousness. 8. The suspect cleverly eluded the police. Number 9. Illegal immigrants must forthwith return to their home country. 10. The price of coffee being 100,000 won is outrageous. 11. We trained hard for the optimal result. 12. The king walked in front of his ministers with majesty. 13. The people demanded the separation of politics and religion. 14. Hangul is recognized as a superb alphabet in the world. 15. My friend was so late that her rage exploded. 16. The Bank of Korea issued 100,000 won currency notes. 17. Housewives are busy with their daily chores and have no time to rest. 18. The doctor applied anesthetic to the patient before surgery. 19. She devoted her life to the orphans. 20. After calculating the meal cost, I received a receipt. Let me know if you'd like to discuss any of them or need more clarification. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. The witch can manipulate people with spells. 2. Understanding parameters is important in function problems. 3. The nurse injected a painkiller into the patient with a headache. 4. People are increasingly dependent on their mobile phones. 5. The soldier is always alert for enemy attacks. 6. He had an unfortunate childhood, growing up as an outsider. 7. The terrorists sabotaged the peace talks. 8. Children in Africa suffer from starvation. 9. She repressed her feelings of love for him. 10. The truck hit the pedestrian walking on the sidewalk. 11. Modern humans are suffering from many adult diseases due to obesity. 12. He showed tolerance toward my mistake. 13. The madman was sent to a psychiatrist. 14. The massive discount spurred consumer purchasing desire. 15. The district office set up a milestone for hikers. 16. She is at the age of learning to walk after passing infancy. 17. He suffers from stomach problems and is stricken every day. 18. The pharmacist at the pharmacy filled the prescription. 19. The murderer, caught by the police, confessed to the crime. 20. The fingerprints at the crime scene are evidence of his guilt. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to discuss or clarify any of these. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. I paid a fine for violating traffic laws. 2. He read the feature article published in the Sunday newspaper. 3. The politician's oratory moved the audience. 4. The transfusion during surgery saved the patient's life. 5. The flag on the flagpole fluttered in the wind. 6. I found a way to reconcile the two people who fought. 7. Exposure to violent media increases aggression. 8. I majored in architecture for building houses at university. 9. I've never heard his actual voice. 10. He magnified the germs with an electron microscope. 11. He described the human brain by analogy to a computer. 12. The company's deficit inevitably led to layoffs. 13. I cannot accept a unilateral decision, not an agreement. 14. The soldiers marched with a stately stride. 15. My truck had a breakdown today, so I couldn't make the delivery. 16. The congregation listened to the pastor's sermon patiently. 17. His adoptive parents were better than his biological ones. 18. Teenagers are legally prohibited from drinking and smoking. 19. The professor and students had an interactive discussion. 20. The firefighters connected the hose to the hydrant. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or explore any of them further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Do not place combustible items next to the heater. 2. I used my precious time productively. 3. The appraiser appraised the value of the diamond. 4. The sentiment of Koreans towards Japan is not good. 5. The factory manager found a suitable location for building the factory. 6. The monk's austere life is admirable. 7. The island was originally populated by indigenous people. 8. Please submit your application within the enrollment period. 9. The smell of the person next to me's cigarette permeated my clothes. 10. The farmers are picking red apples in the orchard. 11. The sudden cancellation of the event caused a controversy. 12. She is warm-hearted and takes good care of others. 13. I avoid the meeting for the sake of avoidance of any misunderstanding. 14. The Korean team qualified for the World Cup final. 15. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. 16. The wizard animated Pinocchio made of wood. 17. The lioness snarled at the leopard to protect her cub. 18. I was ashamed for cheating on the final exam. 19. Please insert a 501 coin into the slit of the arcade machine. 20. He repeatedly muttered words like a tape recorder. Let me know if you'd like to go over any of these further. Here are the sentences you provided. 1. Your argument is just an overactive imagination. 2. She changed the layout of the furniture in the house because it's spring. 3. The result of the vote wasn't different from my expectation. 4. The Child Association takes care of neglected children. 5. The diver discovered a wreck in the deep seabed. 6. A genius refers to someone with superior intellect. 7. Due to construction, we took a diversion route. 8. She is a business consultant who advises companies. 9. Her outlet for her overflowing talent was dance. 10. He worked hard, but success seemed unlikely. 11. These days, bus passengers commonly use card transit cards. 12. An anonymous donor gave money to the charity. 13. China worries about the effects of overpopulation. 14. She remodeled the house using her aesthetic sense. 15. The old diesel truck emitted harmful fumes. 16. The spacecraft probed the soil and atmosphere of Mars. 17. The famous actress's dress was truly gorgeous. 18. I felt wretched because I had no money at all. 19. The young child believes the guardian will protect him. 20. After the judge mulled over the evidence, he delivered a verdict to the defendant. Let me know if you'd like to discuss or clarify any of these.